Thanks, Brack, for joining us today. So today we are talking about, is RPA just a fad? This has been big in the industry right now. Everyone's talking about robotic process automation. Tell us, what does it really mean to you? What does it mean to process transformation? And is it just a fad?
So I think the interesting thing about RPA and robotic process automation is that it is a growing industry. We see a lot of the software getting sold. We see a lot of our clients adopting it. We think it's something that's here to stay, and it's a growing part. But what's interesting is it's counter-cyclical to most of the other macro trends that we see in the market. So if you think about 2008, 2009, the process transformation, the digital process automation space was all about cost savings. It was all about increased productivity. And now, in the last 2 or 3 years, what we see is everything's about customer experience. It's about growing your business. It's about growing the revenue in the top line. So those kinds of trends, often repackaged as digital transformation, those kinds of trends tend to be the trends that are driving most of the innovation, most of our space. That's why you see a lot more data science in process automation. But what's interesting about RPA is all about automating routine tasks and losing headcount. That's what's driving the trend. That's what's driving the adoption. It's a trend that's here to stay, but it's interesting from the standpoint that it's the one piece of the digital transformation or the process automation toolkit, which is really kind of cyclical to most of the other major trends we see.
Do you have any suggestions on how to keep an RPA implementation really on the rails in especially an enterprise-grade customer?
When we see RPA implementations which are struggling, a lot of times it's a situation where the business has bought the tool, they haven't involved IT, it's a shadow IT project, and they've implemented it to solve a specific problem. And what they find is, though, that at the base, RPA technology is screen scraping. It's scraping the screens, and it's automating an individual task, and it lets you automate that task and get rid of workers. That's great. But whenever anything breaks in the way that screen scraping, that task automation works, then those errors, what you do with those errors, how you control that situation, that's a technology problem. And so the most successful implementations we see are places where people use RPA technology to automate individual steps in the process, but the end-to-end value chain is being handled by DPA technology. Digital process automation technology lets you take the whole value stream, automate it, and hand off to the RPA technology at key steps. The task automation works, and if it fails, the DPA technology can also catch the errors, involve a human being, help you resolve that situation in a seamless fashion. Again, it's the most successful programs we see tend to fit the program, particularly if they're using the tools at scale. Right? It's one thing if you have one individual user, but if you get 2,000 RPA robots working, then you need this kind of mentality to really be successful.
So I guess the answer is RPA is here to stay, and it's not just a fad. So thank you, Brack, for joining us today and for talking about RPA with us.